Hey everybody, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. I've got a brand new video for you. I think this one's pretty cool. All right, I've taken some snippets of some stuff that I bet you didn't know, and probably some stuff that you don't want to know. Anyway, I think I got some pretty cool shots here. So stick around, don't touch that dial. And you know the drill, hit that thumbs up and subscribe, okay? And you'll see more of these videos. All right, thanks for being here. Let's light this candle. All right, let's start off with this one. Let's start off with some mystery. This one will get you going. Got me thinking. All right, check it out.
You want to know what's really weird about the moon? We planted 6 flags up there, right? 6. Yet, with all our giant telescopes, not one person has ever shown you a single flag. We can see galaxies millions of light years away, but we can't zoom in on something we left right above our heads. We've got a rover on Mars, but not a single working rover on the moon. Convenient. And then there's the dark side. Every other moon in our solar system rotates. Ours, it's locked, showing us the same face forever. You don't think that's engineered? The ancients called it a lamp, a clock, even a watcher. Some even said it was brought here, placed, not born. Why does every major culture have legends of a time before the moon? How can that be if it's just a random rock floating in space? Scientists admit when we hit the moon with a missile, it rang like a bell, hollow, metallic. So tell me, is it really a natural satellite or a machine, a structure, maybe even an outpost? We've been told it's just rock and dust, but maybe, just maybe, it's a locked vault. A vault holding secrets humanity was never meant to touch. Don't you think that's weird? This is just a theory, not a fact.
You know, with the technology of a toaster, we went and landed on the moon. Now, why is it 50 years later, over 50 years, what, 57, 58 years later? And all that time, we've never gone back. Never gone back. Was it because it was staged and we never went there in the first place? Was there something on the moon that scared the crap out of us and we weren't going to go back? You think we'll ever know the truth? I don't think so. That's just one of those buried secrets. But I've always wondered about it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. All right? Let's take a look at some inventions that maybe you liked and maybe some you hated. Check this out.
Most annoying inventors in the world. Horace Mann. He invented school. Henry Fischel. He invented exams. Ethan Zuckerman. He invented pop-up ads. Isaac Newton. He invented mathematics. Adam Smith. He invented taxes. Levi Hutchins. He invented alarm clocks.
Yeah, I gotta admit, some of those I question. Alarm clocks, oh my God. But the worst, absolute worst, pop-up ads. Those things suck. I mean, it's gotten better now, but anytime you click on a website, you're interested in looking at something, they got 4 dozen pop-up ads, you know, coming on there. Popping up and, hey, you want 10% off? No, I don't even know what you sell yet. So pop-up ads, I hate them. What do you think? Let me know. Let's move on. Let's take a look at this thing. This is pretty cool. I just want to know where those flowers came from. Didn't that hurt coming out of there? Now you gotta admit, we're spoiled now. Take a look at what it was like in the Middle Ages. I can't imagine living back then. Check this out.
They all slept together in the same room, but not out of love for the family. It was to keep anyone from being eaten by rats during the night. This was the life of common people in the Middle Ages. The houses were small, dark, made of old wood, and had no windows. The floor was dirt, and the bathroom, it didn't exist. Garbage and human waste were thrown straight into the street and left there for days, rotting under the sun. Almost no one took baths. People believed water was harmful and opened the body to diseases and evil spirits. As a result, lice, wounds, and skin infections became part of daily life. Food was scarce and awful. Hard bread, thin broths, no meat at all. If someone had a full set of teeth, they were considered royalty. And if you got sick, the doctors would cut your skin to try to balance the humors. Women worked all day and still had to obey their husbands without question. If they disobeyed, they were... The truth? Living back then meant surviving. Every day was a fight against hunger, cold, disease, and death.
Back in the day, I was a English teacher for a while. Not proud, I know, everybody's favorite subject. Anyway, I chose to do that. I'm a glutton for punishment. But I remember in high school teaching Shakespeare, and I used to do show some historical videos back then. And freak people out that back there in the Shakespeare days, they had like one set of clothes that they wore all year long, and they didn't wash them. They handed them down to somebody else after they wore them for a year. Didn't wash them because they went to the bathroom basically in pots, chamber pots I think they call them, and they went out and dumped them in trenches outside of their house. Must have smelled real nice. And these trenches would run down to the river where people washed their clothes. So if they were washing their clothes, that's what they were washing their clothes in. So needless to say, they didn't wash them. So I would imagine everybody stank back then. What do you think? I'm pretty glad to be living right now in this day and age. Tell you that. Let's take a look at some
close look
hieroglyphs.
at this bizarre carving, because something isn't right. At first glance, it seems like a man riding an animal. But wait, it's not a horse. Is it a lion? Maybe, but not quite. The face is all wrong, and those strange patterns covering its body, lions don't have those. So what exactly is this creature? Now, shift your eyes upward. That looks like a tree, right? But where are the branches? Where are the leaves? Instead, we see something that looks like flowing waves. Why would waves be carved about his head, pretending to be a tree? And it gets weirder. Beneath this lion-like beast, there is another animal. At first, it resembles an elephant. But look closer. The ears are too small, and the legs are stubby, and the entire creature is oddly dwarfed compared to the one above it. What kind of elephant is this? Now, let's connect the dots. A lion that's not a lion, a tree that's not a tree, an elephant that's not an elephant. Is this an ancient code, a lost myth encrypted in stone? Or is this some kind of forgotten hybrid species erased from history? What were the ancient builders really trying to tell us?
You know, there's so much we don't know. We read these things on the walls, the hieroglyphs. You know what? There's a lot of mysterious stuff out there. That we kind of guess what it means, what went on. I don't think we know squat. Like the building of the pyramids. You got 4,000 Egyptians picking up a 200,000-pound stone and putting it up there. I don't think so. Anyway, let's move on. Here's some cool ancient facts.
Weird historical facts I bet you didn't know. Cleopatra was alive closer in time to the year 2400 than she was to the construction of the Great Pyramids. In 1698, Peter the Great introduced a beard tax so that no peasant would decide to have a beard. A study that was done in 2003 found that 1 in 200 men alive at the time were a direct descendant of Genghis Khan. That was roughly 32 million men worldwide. In 1998, 1,200 bones from human bodies were found in the basement of Benjamin Franklin's house. It is thought that he used the bodies to study human anatomy. Halloween historically originated in Ireland over 2,000 years ago. Napoleon used to have a special coin, and before every battle he would gather his army and flip the coin. He would say, "If it lands on tails, it means God is with us," and we charge straight into the battle. Every time Napoleon did this, the coin landed on tails, and the entire army would always win their battles as they felt God was on their side. But after Napoleon's death, it was revealed that the coin was actually a double-sided coin with tails on both sides.
You know, I guess Napoleon was pretty lucky waging war based on a coin flip. At least that's what he told his soldiers. They bought it. He won a lot of battles that way, though. Flip a coin. Yeah, good luck. Let's move on. Now this one's pretty freaky. All right, check out the cannibal lady. This is true stuff. I'm not making this stuff
This
up.
American woman was pure evil. In 1953, in the small town of Boomersville, Florida, Anita Deck was the perfect housewife, super pretty and with a warm smile for everyone in the neighborhood. But Anita hid a dark secret. 6 of her previous husbands disappeared without a trace. Still, no one dared question Anita. One night, her new husband, Frank, noticed something strange. Anita never ate at dinner. She always pretended to eat her food, but as Frank grew suspicious, he discovered her hidden diary, revealing a chilling truth. Anita wasn't just killing her husbands, she was feeding their remains to the guests at her famous dinner parties. Frank tried to escape, but it was too late. That night, the doorbell rang for another dinner party, and Anita greeted her guests with her usual smile. As they sat down to eat, Anita leaned in and whispered to Frank, "Don't worry, darling, you're next." At that moment, Frank found the bathroom as an excuse to finally escape. He managed to reach the police station and inform them of what was going on. Once the police got there, the house was empty, but when the police searched the basement, the story was much darker than they knew.
Pretty creepy, huh? You know, I saw some videos on, that's a thing going on right now where there's like private companies, people are actually selling and eating human meat. Ain't gonna happen, not to me. I ain't gonna eat no people, I ain't gonna eat no dogs. I love my dogs. That's right, let's move on. This one is pretty cool, actually. Check out this guy. Seen a lot of stories like this. Check this one out.
1945, the words of a 3-year-old boy shocked the entire nation. He said he was reincarnated. His name was Lucas. Born in Austin, Texas, he was quiet as a child, but often hummed melodies his parents had never heard before. At the age of 3, he told his parents, "I once lived in Greece. I was a musician at the Temple of Athena." His parents thought it was just his imagination. When he turned 5, Lucas began writing unfamiliar symbols on paper and playing the harp. His parents later discovered that the symbols were actually ancient Greek script. They took Lucas to Athens, where he led them through temple ruins, pointing out hidden corners that even tour guides didn't know about. In front of the Parthenon ruins, Lucas stopped and said, "This was where I performed." A few days later, they unexpectedly discovered a burial chamber in the ruins of Delphi. Inside was a well-preserved skeleton of an ancient musician, with a harp beside him. Even more shocking, the face of the remains looked strikingly similar to Lucas. Lucas insisted on digging nearby, claiming that his past life mother had left something for him. In the end, he unearthed an ancient necklace, its pendant engraved with the exact same symbols he had been drawing since childhood. Today, this necklace is kept in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, regarded as one of the most mysterious pieces of evidence supporting reincarnation.
You seen stories like that? I think it's pretty wild, you know, where somebody knows everything about somebody that lived 100 years before them, whatever. A lot of cool stories, makes me question a lot of stuff. I don't know. It's like some people use more of their brain than we do. I think that's it. We use what, like 10% of our brain? Imagine if we used 100% of it, what we'd be capable of doing. Pretty cool though. You know, I talked earlier about the pyramids. You know, there were giants. Back in the day, according to the Bible, there were giants in the day, and now they're slowly but surely discovering remains. Well, this is a fictional video here, but pretty cool. Kind of put some perspective on it. Check it out. You know, there's one place in the Bible that they run back. They say, hey, we can't go over there because we're the size of grasshoppers, according to these giants over there. I think that stuff's true. Imagine, can you imagine that? These gigantic 200 feet tall things? Anyway, that'd be pretty hairy. Again, I'm glad to be living in this day and age. Let's check this out. You remember this girl? This girl's a sweetheart.
Oh, the woodpecker pecks till he gets his fill, sing polly wolly doodle all a day. But the woodpecker pays 'cause it's on his bill, sing polly wolly doodle all a day. Oh, I feed my pigs with molasses yams, sing polly wolly doodle all a day. So they should be sweeter than they really am, sing polly wolly doodle all a day. Fare thee well, farewell, fare thee well, farewell, Mr. Gloom, be on your way. Though you haven't any money, you can still be bright and sunny, sing polly wolly doodle all a day.
Remember that? Remember Shirley Temple and all those little early movies? She was cute as a button. Yeah, especially a young lady. I wonder what happened to her. I wonder where she went. All I remember is her movies where she was a little girl. I wonder if she did anything as an adult. Let me know if you know something. I don't. All right, that's all I got, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you stuck around this long, share it to somebody else, and please subscribe. You do these things, that's the only way that YouTube is going to spread it to more and more people. All right? And that way you'll hear about the next thing that I got coming up. I got a lot of ideas up here. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you around. Peace.